your phone is on the desk. You're not touching it. You haven't touched it in 20 minutes. And yet, according to a 2017 study by researchers at the University of Texas at Austin, just having it within sight is already reducing your cognitive capacity. Not using it, not checking it, just having it nearby. They called it brain drain. And it gets worse the smarter you are. The researchers found that participants with higher cognitive capacity experienced even greater performance reductions from phone proximity because higher capacity brains work harder to suppress the urge to check. Your self-control is being taxed by a device you're not even looking at. Welcome to TIGLATH. Today we go deep into what digital clutter is actually doing to your brain, backed by the research, not the headlines, the actual studies. Let's start with the oldest piece of this puzzle. In 1927, a Lithuanian psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik noticed something unusual while sitting in a Viennese cafe. The waiters could recall every detail of the orders they hadn't yet delivered. But the moment an order was complete, they forgot it almost instantly. She took this observation into the laboratory and confirmed what is now known as the Zygarnik effect. Incomplete tasks create a persistent mental loop, a low-level background process that your brain keeps running until the task is resolved. Now apply that to your phone. 146 unread messages, 37 unread emails, a notification you dismissed but never addressed. Each one is normal, and your brain, loyal and obedient, keeps all of them running simultaneously in the background of every other thing you're trying to do. Gloria Mark, a researcher at UC Irvine, spent years studying knowledge workers in their natural environment. Her finding became one of the most cited in attention research. After a digital interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to the original task at full focus. 23 minutes. And most people are interrupted every 3 to 5 minutes. You are not losing focus. You have never had the chance to fully regain it. Now, let's talk about what visual clutter specifically does inside the brain. In 2011, researchers at the Princeton University Neuroscience Institute used fMRI to observe the brain imaging under the conditions of visual clutter. What they found was precise. Multiple visual stimuli present in the environment compete for neural representation in the visual cortex. In plain language, every app, icon, every badge number, every notification banner is fighting for the same limited neural real estate your focus requires. And they win, every time, because your brain cannot choose to ignore them. It can only suppress them, which, as the University of Texas study showed, costs exactly the cognitive energy you needed for something else. There is a third mechanism, and this one may be the most expensive. Decision fatigue. The term comes from research by Roy Baumeister, whose experiments through the 1990s and 2000s demonstrated that human willpower and decision-making ability are finite resources, depleted with use. Like a muscle, they tire. Every micro-decision your cluttered digital environment demands. Check this. Ignore that. Respond now or later. Dismiss or engage. Draws from the same limited cognitive account. Judges make harsher parole decisions late in the day. Surgeons make more errors as their shift lengthens. Executives approve worse strategies after a full day of smaller choices. All of this is decision fatigue. And your phone is charging you hundreds of micro decisions before you've even started your most important one. There is one more layer the research reveals. In 2015, Kostadin Kushlev and Elizabeth Dunn at the University of British Columbia conducted a controlled experiment on email behavior. One group checked their email as frequently as they normally would. The other group restricted their email to 3 specific times per day. The result was unambiguous. The group that checked email less frequently reported significantly lower stress, greater task, focus, and a stronger sense of control over their time. They hadn't worked less. They hadn't done less. They had simply closed more loops on their own terms. So what does all of this add up to, practically? 3 changes, each backed by the research. First, reduce your visual field. A clean home screen is not an aesthetic preference. It is a cognitive necessity. Delete what you haven't used in a month. Remove badge notifications from everything non-urgent. Second, batch your communication. Check messages and email at defined times, not continuously. You are not closing loops by checking. You are opening one. Schedule the closing. Third, remove the device from your visual field entirely during focused work. Face down is not enough. Out of the room is the research recommendation. The University of Texas study tested this specifically. Phone in another room produced significantly better cognitive performance than phone face down on the desk, even when the phone was completely silent. Your brain knows it's there. The digital environment you inhabit is not passive. It is a system designed by researchers and engineers who understood attention science, optimized to generate as many open loops as possible. You are not failing to focus. You are focusing against a system designed to prevent it. Clear the digital space. Close the loops. Reclaim the bandwidth. Not as a productivity hack, as an act of cognitive self-respect. Think deep. See beyond. Subscribe to TIGLATH and drop in the comments which study surprised you the most. See you in the next one.